Diva of Radio.
What's on my mind with the compliments of La Place Salaison, Lazarus Funeral Home, Susie's Variety, and Europa.
Ouais, messieurs, aujourd'hui, moi la KSP plein bon glow. C'est un pani pressure. Moi ni tongue, moi ni glow, mais money pressure. Ou savez ça moi besoin? A pomme. Ça c'est bêtise. Moi ka aller ko Europa. Yo ni toute pomme pour toute condition. Qui pour kay, qui pour business. Yo ni pli mer pour pomme cette ici. Yo ka ranger pomme aussi qui besoin service. Brand pump yo c'est Léo. Pump ça c'est major. Ils vont tout bonnement. Tant si ten mois actuellement. Glo ka fonte. Europa ni pump glo Léo entre pour les nerfs, joinge et gris. Visitez Europa à Massad Gozile. Les mots au téléphone 452-0763.
Junek will come in and we'll have a ball. Saltfish and herring and mackerel and all. These are a few of our favorite things.
Mais qui côté nous kay twape se bagay sa la?
Susie's Variety. You better believe it.
At our Border Wash branch, we're open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and in Vieux-Fort, Monday to Thursday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m.
All stores are closed on Sundays. So saltfish and herring and mackerel and more. Susie's Variety is just the store.
One option when they arrive. Our services will make the dead look alive. With Bouteille and Beaufort accessibility. Remember we have the only private cemetery. No one can match our prices from coffins to corsage. Personalized service you get when Lazarus take charge. Quality service, no package to make your wallet bleed. Lazarus is your true friend in your time of need.
It's delicious.
La Place Salaison is the true home of quality meat and deli products, selected and priced to suit every palate and pocket. We sell all cuts of meat, poultry and fish, from tasty lamb necks and succulent pork chops to lean dolphin and juicy top round steaks. Our deli items include turkey, ham, bacon, pork sausages, meat patties, chicken nuggets, deli ham and eggs, so that breakfast or that party is a breeze. And for your added convenience, we sell restaurant essentials and grocery items. So where's your next meal coming from? La Place Salaison, of course. La Place Salaison, Castries, Groselet, Beaufort, and Soufrière.
Hello there, good morning, good afternoon, good night to our listeners and our viewers in St. Lucia and across the globe, especially those on Facebook, on YouTube, and also on X. Welcome to What's on My Mind for today, Friday, the 24th of October. Now, my special guest, as announced earlier, is the independent candidate for the Castries North constituency, Mr. Marcellus Backsteed. So, Marcellus, welcome back. It's great to see you again.
Hey, good morning, Andre. Thank you for having me back.
Our pleasure. As I always say, we go back a long way.
Yeah.
I actually saw, I didn't see you, but I saw your mom when she was pregnant with you.
Yep. Yeah.
So I could be your senior.
Yeah, you are. But and we have a plan for the seniors in our campaign.
Yes, and I asked you about that the last time.
Yeah, but we're gonna get into the pillars, or the if can I borrow a term from Mr. King, the umbrella. You're gonna you're gonna get what's under the umbrella, the pillars of the plan for Castries North. I spent a lot of time in the constituency, and in the earlier days it was a lot in Leclerc. I admit that, but the last 10 years, really 9 years, thinking about solving problems in the constituency, I've had to branch out and get out of my comfort zone and understand things. So I, along with the people of Castries North and really the people of St. Lucia, I have been able to look at this thing from even I want to call myself a social scientific perspective, and that's one of the things I'm trying to bring to Castries North, using data, accountability, transparency, open discussions. So the pillars that we want to talk about, the things that are under the umbrella of a Marcellus Steed campaign, is what I want to talk about today.
Okay, wonderful. And we also want to take some calls because you've been here twice before, and we promised to take calls each time, but we get so into your plans and so on. And imagine, although we've spoken about your plans already, we're still not even
in
halfway.
The details of it.
Exactly. So, Marcellus, I want to make sure I give you that time today, all right, to tell us as much as you can about your master plan. So, the floor is yours. I will take your lead, and I will follow.
Okay. So, like I said, we're looking at the 3 pillars for the constituency, and the first one is youth empowerment and economic vitalization using youth empowerment. Right. Now that's a lot, but basically what that is, we've signed MOUs with. Well, we have signed one MOU with Washburn University. We're going to sign another one with the university. I went to Emporia State University, and what these memorandum of understandings are, these are performance-based scholarships. So I got a basketball scholarship, and I went to this university. I went to Emporia, Washburn University. A guy, Iwan Ogis, went to Washburn University. He was an outstanding player, outstanding student, a lot better than me. He's just an astounding kid overall. He already has an MOU signed. So kids from so not just our constituency, any kid from Sir Arthur Lewis can go to Washburn University as a student. You don't have to bounce a basketball. You don't have to do anything. You can go to Washburn University on scholarship. These scholarships are available to any St. Lucian student. If you at Sir Arthur Lewis, you even have an advantage, because what Ewan did, Ewan was a Sir Arthur Lewis student, so he tied Sir Arthur Lewis to his university. He's always trying to outdo me. So a student from Sir Arthur Lewis their credits can transfer to Washburn University, and here's the good part. If you go to Sir Arthur Lewis, you get treated like you were born in Kansas, so you pay in-state tuition. So that's one. In addition, Ewan has made his family has a scholarship fund. Again, he's a guy from here, humble beginnings, Entrepot, but he's doing very well, very well. He has also added a component to his scholarship. He has his own endowment scholarship. So, in addition to all the goodies you'll get if you can pass the SATs, and if you go to Sir Arthur Lewis, you can also get scholarship money from the Iwan Ogis. And then if you can run track or any of these things, man, or play women's soccer, it's just more money for you. You could pretty much, if you plan it, you could pretty much go to Washburn University for free. And like I said, we were very competitive because we're kind of close in age. I'm a little older, but I went to Emporia State. And just to give you a little history, Emporia State is right down the road on the turnpike in Kansas. It's about less than an hour away. So in the competitive spirit, I am signing an MOU with my university at the end of the month to do some of the same things that Ewan's doing. So we have that's part of the education program, and we have 12 schools in our constituency, right? But we're not limiting these programs are available to any St. Lucian. We've had people in Dominica benefit from this. We've had people in Grenada benefit from this.
So, this is ongoing, or this is what you plan to do?
This is something I have been involved in, and like I said, I've been involved in the constituency. I didn't just wake up and decide I'm going to run for office, and I'm doing things like, some people that's politics. They decide they want to be a politician one day, and they doing things. That's not me. It's actually the other way. I've been doing things, and then for a particular reason, I decided to get into politics. So I'm actually the opposite. And under the pillar of youth empowerment, sports economics, that's just one aspect of it. There are several aspects of it. We plan on using the blue economy. I mean, in the national dialogue, they've been There's been a lot of talk about this blue economy. We have in Castries North, we have coastline. We have coastline available to us, and one of the things that we've been doing is getting the youth to play beach football and stream it and make money from it. We just actually have a pilot program going on now in front of the Malabar Beach, which we ran into a little problem with that, but that's one of our programs that we're running. And when I talk about youth economy, it's not just youth empowerment. It's not just sports. So sports might be the driving pillar in this, but there are a lot of other aspects. So there is radio announcement, there is the video side of it, right? There's the after school, the education, the training. It is not just a sports program for people that are involved in sports. I know people hear it, and sometimes they go on my Facebook page and say, "Me just talking about sports." Sports might be the driver, and like I say, when I bring a team down from Kansas. I bring a team down, let's say I bring a high school team down, and I bring them in the community to do an exchange program. There's a cultural aspect to it, right? So we have Derek Walcott. We do want to do Derek Walcott tours. So that's cultural. These people have to stay somewhere in a hotel. So you're talking about one team of 15 people. You're talking about coaches, another 5, so that's 20. 20 people. You're talking about parents that come along. You're talking about the officials that come along on these tours. So it's an economic aspect to it that has nothing to do with sports. So if you have a hotel, you have an Airbnb in the community, you have an opportunity to make money from this activity. And then the infrastructure in the community, whether it's the court in the playing facility that has been allowed to run down in Mondidor, or the playing facility in Kaweli that was recently Russian painted with the wrong paint, but we are here to talk about that, or the playing facilities in Leclerc. All of these have to be of a certain standard. So now you're elevating the standard so you can bring players, you can bring these teams down. We recently had the gentleman that bid on Julian Alfred's shoes. He was in Leclerc on Sunday. He's the manager for several professional athletes. We had Bam Odobayo here, 2-time All-Star Olympic winner. He was here. He was working out at Bossejou. So these are things that we are already doing, and that's just one of the pillars when we talk about youth empowerment and economic revitalization for the constituency.
Would you like now to respond to those people who just see you as into sports? Why is that so important to you?
I don't have a problem with that. Andre, there's so many facets to me. You could throw a dot on a map, on the world map, and I've probably been there. I mean, I've traveled. There's so many facets to me. I'm also a fella that like carnival, and you'll see I have no shirt on jumping carnival. So I don't really get involved in that. But I mean, for politics,
right?
There is more to Marcella Steed than sports. I've worked in corporate America. Like I said, I've started my own. I lived in Taiwan and I started my own company when I was there, and I taught kindergarten English at the same time. I run a family business, or I help run a family business. So there are a lot of aspects.
But it seemed to be I guess maybe you can tell us a good reason why you seem to be focused on sports.
I mean, again, I got a basketball scholarship. So like I said, I got a basketball scholarship. That's how I went to university. That's how
you say basically, sports can change your life.
Sports can change your life
in a huge way. In a huge
way. I mean, yeah. I mean, Julian Alfred, and we have so many examples. Not just recently. We have Julian Alfred that's a millionaire. That Darren Sammy. I mean, Darren Sammy went at the and I just want to give him a shout out. Darren Sammy, right? We had this thing for Julian Alfred to raise money for her foundation. Darren Sammy called in from Pakistan and donated. I want to say like $10,000, So when an athlete can do that, support another athlete, we going in the right direction. I mean, I was there. I bought her bib, her jersey. So it's athlete supporting, and you can go way back. I mean, Rick Wayne. I always use the example that imagine if we had embraced Rick Wayne properly, and Rick Wayne had brought down a cruise ship with bodybuilders from Miami to St. Lucia and have a bodybuilding contest in the 60s in Marcia. Imagine what that would have done for our coconut oil industry. Think about it. Bodybuilders coming down from St. Lucia, from Miami, coming down on a cruise ship, landing in Port Castries, big bodybuilding, Arnold Schwarzenegger, all these top bodybuilders, Rick Wayne, local boy from Labrie, and they're using local coconut oil to rub themselves down.
I get you. So yes, the master does.
How much bread Lucky would have sell?
So definitely, I see where you're coming from. That sports can literally change your life, and as you said there, we have many examples, right? Okay, so let's continue with your master plan for the Castries North constituency.
The other aspect of it is the rejuvenation of the infrastructure in Castries North. And I'm unapologetic about that.
And when you talk about the infrastructure, what exactly do you mean?
Both the physical, the roads, the retaining walls, the river is a big one, and then the sporting infrastructure. So I'm unapologetic about that. What I have seen in the last 10 years, and I don't blame political parties because I saw it under UWP and I saw it under. And Mr. King is a member of the Labour Party. Oh, he's not a member. He never joined. So let me because I'll get blasted on that. He has never joined. He has maintained his blue wave so-called independence, but he's been a supporter of the Labour Party. So he has voted 100% of the time. Everything we haven't heard any conflicting, any arguments. He's gone with the Labour Party every time, 100% in Parliament. And prior to that, he was a member. He was a prime minister, and he was a founding member, a junior member under John Compton. He was. I mean, that's how I know Mr. King, because my mother is a UWP, and like I say, I can't say anything bad about John Compton. I'll get a burnt piece of chicken. And King was in the UWP. He's principal with UWP, and then he moved into this blue wave. Now we're not getting into all of that, but the infrastructure in Castries North, we see this game where every 5 years, right before the election, and we're seeing it right now, there's a mirage or pretend of work. So we when I win the next election, we want to have a real infrastructure plan that's based on data, that's based on open transparency. We want to have, in sports, you have a scoreboard, you can see the score of what's happening. We're going to have a scoreboard in Castries North for any infrastructure problem, for procurement, for who are the contractors. Everything will be open and accountable. You'll be able to bid on a contract. You don't have to like Marcellus, you don't have to be his friend, you don't even have to be whoever wins the next election. You don't even have to be a supporter of that particular party. It will be performance based. And we're going to have an app, we're going to have a website that we're going to track. We're going to track every job, right? So for example, they're talking about the square, the Leclerc Square. We're going to get a new square, and there's a proposed $600,000 for this new square. And with governments, if you put cost overruns on that is $1 million. So a project like that, it will be on our scoreboard. You'll know who the contractor is. You'll know how much, what the bids are. Very open, very transparent, right? That's the kind of representation you're going to get with a Marcellus Steed. No more of, boy, you have to check the minister and running behind a minister or rep. That's going to be done.
Okay, all right. So, folks, we're going to be taking some calls soon, so please stand by. So, Marcellus, this is your moment.
Yeah. The other pillar, sticking to the question, the other pillar that we want to discuss is the healthcare in the constituency. And under that pillar, there's a lot that comes under that, but we we will be very aggressive to doing something about the Leclerc Health Center. And I heard the better Steve talking about when he was a baby, he visited the health center, and the health center is the same way. And he said a lot of things, but that's actually accurate. The health center is it hurts my heart. It makes me it hurts my heart, but it's also shameful the way we've treated our elderly and the way we have we've dealt with things when it concerning that health center. People still sitting outside on benches from, it's just if you're pregnant, there isn't a proper. I mean, you're pregnant, you can't sit on a bench. And now there've been some attempt to put one chair, but if free pregnant, if a fella passing post and there are free pregnant ladies in the constituency, they don't have a place for them to sit. So healthcare and that health center will be the number one priority, or one of the priorities that we'll be dealing with in the next, whoever wins the general election. And to give credit to the Labour Party has and to the United Workers I've looked at the grant funds. There were millions of dollars in grants available for the health centers now. Like I say, we don't know when these monies are budgeted, there isn't the transparency from the minister. You can't really get a hold of him and ask these kind of questions. There are no town hall meetings. There are no, so we don't know. So they can come and say, well, yeah, it was that these are grants were budgeted, but we don't know. That's what I'm saying. We need a Freedom of Information Act on a national level. That's something else that we could get into, but we want to be able to take calls. The health center will be one of my major priorities in Castries North. We also have plans to do like a mobile health clinic, because there are people in Agard. I was talking to a few people in Agard and Mondido. They cannot get to Leclerc where the health center is. And so we're planning on doing a mobile health clinic that will go around the constituency. It's not very expensive. I've done the costing and everything on it, and there's money for it to make it happen.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yes. So we're listening, Marcellus.
So what I would like, Andre, I don't know, people are listening. I want people to call and give some tough questions.
So you ready to take the calls?
I'm ready. I want to be able to engage, some of the folks that have questions. The other thing that I would like to, since we kind of have a bit of not a break, but I would like to share with people. We have a project that I've been working on. It's coming out on Wednesday on Amazon. It's called Making It Count. And what this is, it is a blueprint on how to run a constituency. And it's personal stories and sports and business and was combined in a blueprint, a manual. You are not really a manifesto, but it's a blueprint called Making It Count. It will be available on Amazon from Wednesday, and hopefully I'll get a few copies to have. But this will be available from Wednesday.
Yes, I think you're talking about a book that you're writing.
No, yeah, it's done. It's
already written.
Yeah, it's already written. It's on my website. You could kind of browse for it if you.
You want to tell us just give us a bird's eye view of what the book is all about?
So it's Making It Count, and it's a bit of personal stories in terms of all the athletes that have gotten scholarships. So we have had a lot of athletes that got scholarships, including myself. And it is their stories and what they're doing now, but it's also using their stories to show how you can fix things in a constituency. And we talked about the scoreboard, for example, right? In sports, you when you watch sports, competitive sports, you want to know the score. So we take a concept like that and we bring in it to the constituency. So outside the constituency and the website and the app for the constituency, you will be able to see a scoreboard. You'll be able to know if you have a non-personal issue, like say for example you have a retaining wall, retaining wall in the constituency that has fallen down, and somebody launch a complaint. As soon as that complaint is launched, it will be up on the scoreboard, so you can see in Kaweli on July 10th. You don't have to put your name, so and so launch a complaint, boom, and then it will be dealt with almost like sports. So that's what the book does. So for example, when Julian Alfred wins a gold medal, all you see is her on that podium, her excitement, but nobody sees when she was in Cicero running without shoes, practicing. Nobody saw her early mornings, 4 a.m. lifting weights, stretching, the injuries, the pain, the crying. Nobody sees that. So the book kind of takes sports and looks at and merges sports and politics, because sports and politics have a lot in common. A politician, from what I kind of learned in the last few months, you have to have thick skin as a politician. Things can bother you. Everything people say can bother you, and that's the same thing in sports. If you're a serious athlete, when you're doing well, people there for you. But when in the rough times, I mean, the same people as curse you. And so politicians and sports and top athletes have things in common. So that's what the book basically is. It's a lot of sports analogies and using it for politics and making these things happen.
Marcellus, before we take the calls, I want to make sure that you go through your plans and that you're satisfied today that you've given us all the information that you want to give. Because every time we have these interviews, we get carried away. Yeah. Right. So I want to make sure that you're satisfied today. So are you okay right now?
Yeah. And like I said, we can go into a little more detail of some of the things, but these are some of the things that the youth empowerment through the scholarship program. And like I say, we have 2 MOUs signed. We also have plans as soon as we get the infrastructure ready. We're gonna have visiting teams in the summer. We also have plans to do exchanges with high schools in the States. We also have plans on doing refereeing courses and coaching courses. So that's under the youth empowerment. We also have plans on tying the blue economy with sports and with our constituency to help youth to break that youth unemployment issue we have. And then when you go into infrastructure development, we have like I said, we have a lot of issues in the constituency that need to be dealt with. And some of it is being dealt in a very haphazard, rush way, because it's an election year. I call it the Olympics of infrastructure. They're trying to fix things quickly. But if I can bring attention to the current Leclerc field, right? Mm-hmm. The field had a set of lights that have not been working from day one. From the time it came on, it probably came on once, ribbon cutting, boo, Leclerc have lights, everybody happy. But then the lights have not been working for almost 10 years. And one of the reasons the lights are not working is that we never put the correct dirt on the field in the first place. The dirt on the field is old dirt from the river that we didn't put the proper drainage, and then we spent thousands of dollars on lights, right? And then we didn't do anything with the drainage. So what ended up happening is that the runoff, the puddling and the runoff into the poles. So when they cut the poles, they recently cut the poles off. You could see inside of the pole is full of water. So one of the first things that should have been done, if you're doing something, whether it's business or science, you have order of operation. So there was no order of operation. It was a last-minute campaign thing when UWP was in power, right? That's what our current rep did. And I am unapologetic about it because I brought it to attention. Let's not do it that way. So you had this last-minute thing, no order of operation, no plan, no billboard showing the plan or discussion. They may have some discussion with some of their friends, but there was no plan. So the step 2 was the drainage. Drainage was not done. Then you spend thousands of dollars on lights. Now you have to cut the lights out and remove them. And you're doing the same thing under the Labor administration. The same thing is being done. They've diverted lights from VG to Rush because so-called an independent brought attention to it. It wasn't because they had a plan. Because I brought attention to it, they've taken the lights, they've diverted lights from somewhere else. They brought it to VG, to La Clary. They're trying to do that. It's a rush thing. They have not put in the drainage. They have not put a plan to, a billboard to say, this is the plan, you're doing step 1, step 2. None of this is happening. It's a rush. You have a fellow at Baco at nighttime trying to lay conduit. And this is the type of representation we're trying to get away from. And like I say, I'm unapologetic when it comes to some of these infrastructure developments because I have seen it. It's not a one-time thing. I have seen it in a consistent manner in Castries North. I'm unhappy with it. And it actually has to stop.
Okay, let me just remind our listeners and viewers that we have live in studio independent candidate for Castries North, Marcellus Backsteed. He's here with us until 10 o'clock. So let's take some calls now, Marcellus.
Yes, sir.
It's about time. You just get your headphones on. Let me just give you the numbers. The numbers to call, the fixed line is 572-9710. Fixed line 572-9710. Or you can WhatsApp 287-0971. WhatsApp is 287-0971. We have somebody on the WhatsApp platform. Thanks for calling. Good morning.
Good morning, Andre. Good morning, Mr. Steed.
Morning.
Marcellus Steed.
Good morning.
And good morning to the Castries North people, especially that Clary area.
All right.
Mr. Steed, didn't you know, you spoke about all these scholarships, basketball scholarships and basketball colleges and St. Lucia interactions. But didn't you know that I'll just give you some information before I ask you a question. Didn't you know that under the Alan Chasney administration, a permanent secretary sent over to United States colleges, men and women, about 11 to 12 of them, and some of these students have stayed in the States. A couple of them played for St. Lucia, and there are few, and there are quite some of them playing in that professional league in America. I don't think you know that. And not only that, Alan Chasser has been getting scholarships for me for young guys up in the United States long before I knew about you. So what you're doing there is not a surprise or too much of a big interest because it was done. I don't know about this administration if they have been doing that. So you would seek time to talk about it. But let me ask you a question.
Can I respond to that?
But I have a question to ask you. I was just giving you some info.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry. A lot of people go up for independent as an independent. And there's a saying, a leopard can never change its spots. And I read you, the way you're talking and the people you talk with, that you are an SLP person, a person that lived around St. Lucia Labour Party, for all your life. And why I say that, what happens as you are talking as an independent person, and you talk a lot about sports, not too much issues on social issues. What if you win Castries North? What is your direction? You don't think people know that you will be on an SLP if they win SLP movement? Am I talking wrong, or you can correct me? That's all I wanted to know.
All righty. Thank you very much. Thank you, E.T. Thank you very much. Allow him to respond now. Yes, go ahead, Marcellus.
Okay. What the United Workers' Party has done in terms of scholarships and what Alan has done, I mean, Alan was a basketball player. For those of you who don't know, we've debated whether he was captain or not and that nonsense, but Alan fundamentally was a fella in playing basketball in Conway. He's older than me. I saw him. I have seen him in battle. I've seen him. I've even seen him fighting for his ball. I have seen these things. This is not things people have told me, right? I have seen Alan in battle. And what Alan has done with scholarships and what I'm doing, it's not a competition in the sense, or it might be a competition if I can say, you know what, I can get more scholarships than Alan, because athletes compete that way. But it's not a competition in terms of who it's been done by UWP, or it's not. That's not how I look at it. Any kid or any person that gets a scholarship and goes to the United States, or any person that gets a scholarship through some of the initiatives that the Labour Party is doing, is a positive thing. I have seen people personally, fellas I know that would have never gone to university, go up to the States, get scholarships. Some of them don't come back. So I mean, life is life. Fellas get married, fellas start companies over there, but the benefit of any person getting a scholarship is that they have that connection to St. Lucia. So it is I'm not saying that it's anything new that I'm doing. And if Alan, I know Alan has been involved in basketball. I know that. I know the United Workers Party has been involved in that. And there have been people in the Labour Party that has been involved in that as well, and promoting that whole education thing. So for me, I'm not coming from it from that angle where I'm going to do it and I'm better. That is just one aspect to answer your question. The second part of your question is whether I'm gonna jump with the Labour Party, and I can answer that honestly. I got involved in politics really involved in 1997 through Mario Michel. I'm unapologetic about that. I think I'm still a member of the Labour Party. Maybe I haven't paid my dues in a while, but I'm still a member of the Labour Party. I have a ton of red shirts in my closet. But this political campaign is not about party. I mean, I am taking personally a lot of heat from family when I announce. I mean, they have come around, but this is not about me running to the Labour Party. This is about St. Lucia. You have to understand, I am one of these people that I have a love for my community. Like I could be anywhere in the world. I could be literally anywhere in the world working, but I love my community. There's just a deep love for it. So it's not me running. I'm not going to run to Labour Party and you can create that same argument. Alan Chasney is my partner in terms of basketball. He's part of the basketball brotherhood. So some people I get that criticism all the time. I'm working for Alan, I'm doing this for Alan. Because if I pull up on the block and I see Alan, it's nothing but love, because we have that basketball camaraderie. So your argument in terms of leopard not changing skin, I am a leopard in terms of fight, but all of that are nonsense. No.
Okay, let's take another call. Thanks so much for holding. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Mr. Paul and your guest, Mr. Bastille, I think that's his name, right?
Yes, Mr. Steed.
Marcellus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The issue I have, right, what I cannot understand about some of the candidates, especially the independent candidates, they always show at the 11th hour. Why not plan everything 2 years after an election, like a secret coalition? As a matter of fact, you only have a handful of guys. Why don't you all look for more guys, plan that 2 years after election, and include more guys, more independent guys, right, to join you all? And each of you all, right, could target a portfolio. Like you, Mr. Steve, I heard like you have an interest in sports, right? Then you should form a coalition with a number of other guys, and they each have, right, their whatever plan, portfolio plan, okay? In different areas, like you have sports, you have national security, you have Mr. Elman Central, you have others, right? And then you all have sufficient time, right, to come out in with your full details, okay, of plans so that the public can understand. But you all come out of the 11th hour, which is to me is too late, okay? Well, if I was an independent candidate, I would have targeted the agriculture sector, right? And if I didn't have a secondary plan, right, where I can obtain funds, right, secondary funds to implement my project, I wouldn't go there, right? So this is where I'm coming from, right? You're all coming out too late. Independent come out a lot earlier than that so that people can see your plans, see your plans, and make people know where to get the funds. Because sometimes you can't depend on the central government. Sometimes they deliberately mess you up. Let's say like you win as an independent candidate, and then you have plans, and then you'll definitely need funds. They'll deliberately mess you up just to prevent you from getting those funds so that your project can go ahead.
Okay.
So I believe that you all should plan that a lot earlier.
Thank you.
And not at the 11th hour.
Thank you very much.
You have a good morning.
Take care of yourself. Thanks for calling. Yes, Marcellus, you want to respond to that?
Personally, I don't think this is the 11th hour for me. I've been involved in community development for a very long time. Early in the 80s, it was, yes, just basketball, but when I came back to St. Lucia this second time around in 2011, immediately I got involved in my community. There was a major garbage and a crime problem in Castries North, and like I said, from the time I got back, I hit the ground running. I got involved in the community. I got involved with the garbage thing. I'm glad he brought that up. I started an initiative because I worked in Taiwan. I spent 3 years in Taiwan earlier in the 90s teaching business English, and I had this idea when I saw all the garbage in Castries North. I had this idea that I could write to plastic producers in Kaohsiung and have them give me garbage cans in exchange for me collecting data. There's a concrete plan that we worked on. And I said, that's back in 2011. It never happened. It never, for whatever reason, it didn't happen. But these are things that I've been involved in from, like I say, way back when, thinking about the constituency, making it better. In terms of getting together with other independents, Gassa, you sound like you want to lead a party. Maybe come and talk. I don't know.
A party of independence.
A party of independence.
All right.
Who knows?
Let's take another call. Okay. Thanks for holding. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Andre. Good morning, brother. Back.
Morning, sir.
Yes. I've been listening to your interviews on Rev-Up, and I am very impressed with what you have to say and the contributions you have made and potentially will make. What I would like to ask, traditionally independents don't usually win their seats. So I'm going to give you two scenarios. If you were to actually win your seat, you would not be privy to that kind of government funds and stuff. So how would you be able to handle supporting the community? And if you were not successful in the bid, well, obviously you have not been successful in the Labour Party supporting your ideas. So let us say then the UWP wins. Would you be open now if an olive branch was sent out to you to help augment what you are already doing? Would you be open to that? So I'll listen off the air.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes.
Okay. The question had a few different parts. So legally, if you win your seat as an independent, and what I have seen from the Labour Party in terms of making funds available from the national to the local, I'm excited about that. It's not, if I win my seat, it's not like I'm gonna be punished because I didn't listen to the elders in the party machine, and they will punish me if I win my seat. I honestly, in the spirit of George Charles, I do not think that will happen. But I'm a political virgin. I don't know, but I do not believe that will happen if the Labour Party wins the election. And in terms of the Labour Party is not supporting, the Labour Party does support almost 90% of what I'm doing, because it is in line with what the Labour Party does. If you my book that's coming out next week, if you look at Making It Count, it's in line with some of the things that the Labour Party have in their previous manifestos, the blue economy, youth empowerment, scholarships, etc. So I do not see Philip J. Pierre thumbing his at me because I didn't listen to, not him, because he never told me not to run. From what I see, he has encouraged independence. He has encouraged the spirit of democracy. So he personally didn't tell me not to run. So the elders that maybe had that viewpoint. So I don't see any issues with that. With the United Workers' Party, I don't see any issues. I think they did this Belrose Doctrine thing the last time, and that didn't work out well for them. I think most people will learn from their mistakes, and I would hope if that was an actual policy. Now we heard that from that was a big thing Mr. King was pushing. He was saying, boy, the reason things aren't happening is because of Allen. But even when you look at some of the budgets, you look at some of the UWP budgets and you comb through it, because I've looked at the numbers. It says a different story. So I'm not calling Mr. King a liar, but I'm not worried that if I win as an independent that I wouldn't get support. So that's not one of my concerns. And like I say, the facts, the budgetary facts of the United Workers' Party, the budgetary facts of Philip J. Pierre's party shows a different story from what I'm hearing.
Okay, let's take as many calls as possible. Good morning. Thanks for calling. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Marcellus. Good morning, Mr. Paul.
Good morning.
Marcy, I know you as Marcy,
that
so sorry,
like
I cannot
the best
call you
bread.
Mr. Back. Marcy, I've heard that they will be giving us a new square in Leclerc. When last have you heard that square has been used? When last? Was it ever used? That square has been there like a little mannequin, It is just there. They cut the grass, they paint it every 20 years. But who uses it? Tell me. But what I want to know is, in the event that you go in, what would you do to make it be used a little more, to bring the community together? And I think the other gentleman asked the question that I wanted to ask. In the event that, let us say, the Labour Party goes in or the UWP goes in, and let us say, devil's advocate, you didn't go in, let us assume that. And one of them would like to use you because you have a lot of good ideas. One of them would like to use you. Would you go with them to assist?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Marcellus?
Okay, so the square has been, let's take what the square, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I kind of have to answer the question. So the square was an open area that we played, kids played, and we'd run around, play, and then go down to the bakery, your bakery, eat bread, come back, play on the square. So that was what the square was originally, and it has a drainage issue. So I can tell you where all the potholes are in the square. The square has a drainage issue, and when the square was developed, it was a political mirage. And I'm unapologetic about it, because if you go on the square right now, there's pots of water where they never put in the correct drainage when they did. It was a political mirage. That's what that square is. And again, it has become a political bouncing ball, because I went to the square I saw a video online of one of the political candidates in Miku talking about he will not stop projects. So I went on the square and I did a video saying I'm a Celestine, I wouldn't stop any projects. And a fella say, boy, what projects you talking about? So that's what brought the attention to the square. The square, I'm not even sure if that's what we need here. I mean, I've been seeing other ideas. People talk about, you know, we can do something with IT. We can do some. I mean, I'm not even sure. I think we need probably to have discussion. We need to have some kind of forum. Let the community decide. Do we want to put like a smart center there? Do we want to, you know, incorporate Miss Sheila, a bus stand, a smart center where you have IT development, you have the school right next to it. It can be something that can be utilized differently, where you have these smart libraries now where kids get a card and they have access to millions of books. So it can be used in a different way, where you still have the square concept where you could come and have discussion, but necessary to just spend $600,000 or $1 million to give some contractor that we wouldn't know a job, and I don't even think that's what we should do right now. So that's to answer that question. They don't need to run and do any square right before election to try to vaguely people. I think we've gone past that. We need to have a discussion what we would like to see there, and I say it's right next to a school. Just imagine if you do a project with the Taiwanese. The Taiwanese have these squares where it's about that space, and it is virtual libraries, it's screens, you incorporate Miss Sheila, her bakes and stuff there, so you have almost like a historic but a modern area where you have people can interact, and you have students that can come in with their card and download information and get information for their homework. So you can do so many things with that area. I don't necessarily think we spend $1 million and then wait till the next 5 years and then another fella complaining about it. What was the second part of the question?
I think that was it. I remember she was mainly talking about the square.
Yeah.
But Marcellus, before you leave, just a final question, because you have to make way for another program at 11. The VBCC, the Woodbury Cultural Club, do you have any plans for the club? And do you see the club as having a role to play? Because remember one time that club played a very, very significant role in the lives of La Clarions, right? And it seems now kind of like going in some other direction. Not many young people are really involved per se anymore. Remember the games, and I mean it really played a part in help shaping the lives of a lot of La Clarions back then. What role do you see for the VBCC in the future?
So just to give a quick history on that, the VBCC played a major role in a lot of our lives. Our ability to debate, ability to speak in public. Mr. Downs recently had a meeting, because we have a meeting, we're trying to revitalize a few things. He had a meeting and he said, he made the point to the rest of the people in the group that I stood up to ask a question, and he was an author, like a strict fella back then, and he asked me to sit down, and I didn't sit down, and I was trying to make my point, and I didn't sit down until I made my point. But VBCC, that's the role in terms of public speaking and you know, wearing a shirt. VBCC did that for a lot of young people. So like most societies, clubs have a life. It's a sociological life, like the society. And the club has had great times. I remember John Compton, Romanas Lancico, even Stephenson King being in the club for installation. I remember the club having that great history. But as times change, the club now has to change. And the club didn't do a good job. And I blame us, like people in my generation, because we didn't really continue the mantle. The older fellas have a little pluck to take on that as well. But I think now the club is at a point where the building is still there, the field, the courts, the infrastructure is still there. It needs some support. So it has to be done differently. It cannot be the same old way it was done because the society has changed.
Right.
So we have to incorporate some of the things that even like the government is doing, and we have to make the national local. So, for example, whether it's the Philip J. Pierre or Allen administration, they have to come in and they have to look at the club from a new age, you know?
Mm-hmm. Okay, Marcellus, I want to thank you so much. I hope you feel a lot better today in terms of giving us your plans for the Castries North constituency and the calls as well.
Yeah.
Right? And hopefully maybe next time you come back, we'll have more time to take more calls.
Yep.
All right?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Marcellus. And again, I wish you all the best.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. This has been What's on My Mind for today, and my special guest today was independent candidate for Castries North, Marcellus Backsteed, who I'm sure will be back here before the elections are called. So, this has been What's on My Mind with the compliments of La Place Salazar, Lazarus Funeral Home, Susie's Variety, and Europa.
Ouais, messieurs, pas jour dis-moi la KSP plein bon glow. Si t'es dans panic pressure, moi ni tongue, moi